Okay, hello, cordial greetings, dear tutor. We are the group 23, and this group is confirmed by Diana, Patricia Vargas, Alberto Mosquera, Erika Alejandra, and me, Leslie Joana Ramirez Ardila. In this occasion, we are going to expose our digital platforms in the integration of tools and strategies for the development of communication skills, a contrastive analysis of their effectiveness. This is our title of our research project. In introductions, we have that the rapid expansion of digital learning environments has transformed the ways in which English is taught and learned, creating new dynamics in both virtual and face-to-face classrooms, as online methodologies gain prominence. Educators are required to adopt their strategies, materials, and interactions. The article also examines these transformations through a constructive analysis of teaching practice in virtual and face-to-face environment, with a specific focus on the development of oral communication skills among first semester students enrolled in Bachelor of Arts in Foreign Language and with emphasis in English. The study originates from the observation that oral skills, as I told you, represent one of the main challenges for beginning learners, particularly in virtual environments, where interactions may be limited by technological or contextual factors, driving on theoretical contributions from the Sindh and Lincoln 24th, Horton and Bueller 2024, and Long, Want, and Henderson 2021. This article explores how learning environments, pedagogical resources, and instructional strategies shape students' communicated development. Now, we are going to see the literature review. So I'm giving to you the word, dear partners, Diana.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm corresponding for the literature review. And okay, please. The literature review highlights several key learning theory that explain how students develop knowledge. Piaget, 19 state that the learners construct new understanding through active interaction with their environment. And Munoz, emphasis on pedagogy of love, where supportive and safe environment foster meaningful learning. Vygotsky introduced the zone of proximal development, showing the gay interaction helps students progress beyond that they can achieve independently. Ausubel explained that meaningful learning occurs when new information connects to student prior experience. Brunner promote discovery learning, encoding autonomy and independence exploration. And finally, Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence highlight the diverse way in which students learn and the different strengths they bring to the classroom. Together, this perspective underscores the importance of affect learning, emotional support, guidance, autonomy, and recognition of learned diversity in effective education.
Okay, thanks, dear partner. Now I'm going to tell about the methods. This study it's employed qualitative research designed based on reflective practice, allowing the teacher researcher to critically examine teaching experience across virtual and face-to-face learning environments. The purpose of this approach was to identify how different institutional strategies, like tools and classroom dynamics, influence the development of students' oral communication skills. Data were collected through two main instruments: file journals and narrative reflections. The file journals documented daily teaching events, students' reaction, challenges, and adjustments made during the practicums. It's also relevant to say that a contrastive analysis was conducted to compare both learning environments. These include examining lesson planning, teaching materials, student participation, and special attention was given to the impact of technological um, access in virtual settings as a difference in technology and digital researchers across regions significantly influence students' performance and engagement. Through this reflective and comparative process, the study showed us to understand how teaching practices needed to be adapted in each modality and how these adaptations affect students. Now it's the turn of the findings for my partner. The findings.
Good
Okay,
evening.
okay. And me and findings. The result of the article academic. ¿Listo? Ok. Bueno. Um, the finding in the article academic, the finding highlighting the importance of autonomy in learning and the essential role of the teacher and digital tools in virtual environments. Brunner and Paget emphasize the while students construct their own knowledge. The teacher remains a crucial guide and facilitator. The integration of digital tools in blended learning improves access to content and strengthens interaction and well-structured lesson plan further enhancing learning, particularly in virtual setting. Additionally, the use of pedagogical materials along with continuing assignment and feedback support student understanding and improvement in these digital environments. The teacher acts and facilitator will while students assume a more autonomous and self-regulated role. Overall, the combination of teacher guidance, digital resource, and student autonomy leads to a more flexible, meaningful and effective learning experience. This, okay.
Okay.
I know the finding ending.
Okay, it's the turn of implications.
Okay, good evening, classmates. Implications. The impact achieved by the research process based on the findings and results obtained suggests that if certain teaching tools are used, depending on the workplace, such as a virtual or face-to-face, better results can also be obtained in the teaching and learning process. The virtual teaching area makes process more efficient if class activities are prepared in such a way um, as to maintain the students' a constant attention, as this is essential to ensure that they don't lose interest. The virtual teaching uh, area make processes more efficient if class activities are prepared and in a such a way as to get this straight. Since we are not in front of them to be able to see at all times that they are paying attention. In the face-to-face work area, it is essential to carry out activities that involve the use of digital tools such as multimedia and programs that are familiar to the students, as this makes it easier for them to learn a language, uh, as in this case or any other subject being taught in the classroom. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, dear partners. Now it's the turn of the partner Erika.
Hello, good day. My name is Erika Alejandra Duran Ortiz, and today I'm going to speak about the discussion. The findings of this reflection study highlights the complex interplay between the pedagogical strategies, digital tools, learning engagement, and the contextual variables across both virtual or face-to-face learning environments. When examining these results show that the constructive lens upon by theories such as Vygotsky, Burnett, and Asbel, it becomes evident that meaningful learning emerges when the studies activities construct the knowledge thought they guide at participation, socially meriting tasks and opportunities for the reflection. One of the central points that emerge the analysis is that virtual and in-person modalities are not comprehensive approach but rather complementary frameworks that require different forms of pedagogical design making in virtual settings. The effectiveness of the learning relies heavily on teachers' planning, technological accessibility, and the student capacity for automated work. These platforms such as Wall, Kahoot, Lightshace, and EducaPlay provide for the powerful mediators about in the learning. And final, I going to speak about the conclusion. The overall analysis demonstrated the meaningful education practice, whether carried out in the virtual face-to-face environments, regard thoughtful planning, ethical responsibility, and the pedagogical approach grounded in the constructive principles through the triangulation of the students and the theory conclusions. The category is the annex 6 And the empirical finding present in the reflective practice. This article, it becomes evident that the digital tools such as GPT, Gemini, and interactive learning platforms can significantly enrich qualitative analysis and language process. However, their use being demeritable by the teacher critical judgments, ethical adherence, and the pedagogical intentions. The contrastive examination between the virtual and the in-person teaching practice the highlights that both modalities share the common foundation to need to create the meaningful learning. Its parent supports by clean lessons, planning, relevant material, continuous feedbacks, and a strong teacher starting relationship. In the virtual environments, the effectivity of the situation depends on the strategic integration of the in the digital resource. That's all. Then say thank you so much.